Hey love bug, it's me, Emma Upton, clarity alchemist, resistance evaporator, magic map maker, and welcome to Let's Build the Real Thing. This is the podcast where you remember where you put the map to your work, and you do it in a way that feels like an adventure, not a checklist, not a job title, a wild, sacred calling that feels like a boiling hot bath, a scalding brew, and your fave bickies. I built this in the messiest season of my life. Twin babies, full-time teaching, husband away every week, and a brain that never let me rest. No spare time, no sabbatical, just a deep pull that I couldn't ignore anymore. So I followed it. I created the Be Anxiety Free Fine formula from scratch, turned it into a global program, published a book, and left teaching in 2021 to do this full time. Now, I help powerful women bring their work to life, the thing they can't stop thinking about. We tap your magic so the map becomes real, and then we build it together. Let's build the real thing. I want you to think about the dream. What does it look like? Where are you? What are you doing? Who are you doing it with? What do you have available to you? How are you sharing all of the beauty of what you've created with the people that you love the most and the communities that you want to impact the most? What does that actually look like? And how close are you to having that reality right now? I ask myself this frequently, and why I do it is to check in with what the trio of terror, as I call them, the conscious mind, the part of us that thinks that everything has to be a plan and a strategy and under control and like it knows how to go about it. Well, if I just knew this, if I could just do this, if I could just get this, and then it would happen. It's a really nice check-in for me with those guys of being like, so you don't actually know as much as you make out. So you're not actually being as helpful as you think you are. Because if you knew what the plan looked like, you'd just take the steps to do it, right? Why won't you just do it then? Asking myself that keeps it really real for me, keeps the creation of this work in the space that is meant to be created from, and it's not the trio of terror. It invites that deeper space, that all-knowing space that doesn't make logical sense, and I wish it did because my brain, my trio is still loud, but it doesn't. And when I'm not operating from the trio, when I'm inviting that space, I start getting answers that are different to what they think the answers should be. All of a sudden I get ideas and insights and thoughts and these hunches that I'm like, I should follow that. Now, I have built up enough evidence over the last 7 years of doing this to realize those things are things to follow because they always bring the most surprising, best results that I couldn't have seen coming, that catch me left field, that don't make any sense until I look back then with hindsight and be like, that's why it all had to go that way. So if you know that your strategy and the way that everything fits together is really important, I don't want to say that that's not you because I don't know you. You might know me pretty well, but you might not know me at all. But what I'm saying is get curious around it if the results that you have right now are not the ones that you want. And a measure of are the results that you have right now, a measure of the ones that you want, are how does it feel? Does it feel like you wanted it to? That's a really cool question. The things that you have got in your life that most people can't conceive, or the things that you've got in your life that feel good, that are good. On paper, you'd write out, these are the things that I've achieved, these are my accomplishments, these are the impact that I've had in people's lives, these are the things that people say to me. The amount of people that I work with that say people are in awe of the work that we do together. They couldn't be happier, they couldn't tell me more lovely things, and I'm just like, yeah, okay, now what's next? How do those results feel for you? Because that's what we're all chasing. And the only way that we're going to stop chasing and stop listening to the conscious mind and stop listening to the trio of terror saying, I know what you need. You just need bigger. You need more of this. You need more letters after your name. You need a better qualification. You need whatever it is that is peddling at us, is to interrupt it with, okay, but how did it feel the last time that I believed the trio, the last time that I let it take me down a strategic path of retrain as this, requalify as this, make this decision in your business, make this decision in your life? How did it feel after I did that? And if it's the same feeling that you're still searching for, you're being invited into a different playing field. And not everybody gets access. Some people are actually happy with their lives and they've created this wealth and this foundation below them. And they're like, yeah, and it feels amazing as well. And I get to go on holiday and I get to enjoy my family and it gets to feel like enough. That's cool. But for those of us that are here for more, we have to quite often burn out with those tangible things and realize, holy smokes, I still feel empty. I still feel like there's nothing left inside me. I feel like it's just my bread and butter of like, oh, of course I've created this. Of course they're getting these results in my life. Of course it's this. Of course it's that. To be able to actually be like, I am meant to be coming from this, from a different angle. If that is you, you have found my work, you have found this on purpose. The point of this episode today is to be with that feeling and not to feel bad about it, because Francis, who is part of the Trio of Terror, will come in saying, that's because you're so ungrateful. Nothing's ever good enough for you. You always want more. No, it'll never be enough. That's not true. It's just that you're looking in a place where you can never find what you're here to create. The work that you're here to create lives outside of those thoughts. It lives outside of what makes sense. There is something nestled inside you. And this is where it sounds so weird, but it's so true. There is something nestled inside you that is so raw and real and obscure and doesn't make sense. And it's going to take a minute for the rest of the world to catch up because they're like, what is this? It lives within you, and the only way to access it is to create space for it to come into fruition. And that's what the next podcast episode is going to be based upon. So tune into tomorrow's episode if this is landing for you. But for right now, just let's get the trio to be less loud around this. And they won't go silent on it, because I still believe like, oh, maybe if I do this and I get this result for somebody, maybe that doesn't go away. I don't think ever, for somebody who's really truly here for something more. But when you can recognize it as noise trying to tempt you away from the path that you're meant to be walking on to create the insane results for this planet that you're meant to be doing, suddenly you can create space. And that's what the next episode is going to be about. It's going to be all about creating the space around this realization of, it doesn't feel like enough. And I don't really truly know what else to do apart from this. So I feel a bit stuck. If that is you, this work is made for you. Be with this today and then take a peek at tomorrow's episode too. So that's us for today. If your soul's whispering, this is it, listen, you're not circling this for no reason. The map is real. The magic is yours. The adventure, it's already underway. You feel it. Tell me what sparked. I'm always on Insta for the big, wild, weird, brilliant conversations. And if you've got a friend who needs this fire too, please share the gold. And remember, your work isn't something you force. It's something you find by remembering what was always yours. I'll speak to you soon. Much love.